In this video, I want to show you how you can build your own forms in Shopware 6. In addition to the default form, you can also add your own individual forms to the shopping experience with the CMS extension for Shopware 6. So before we start, please make sure that you have installed the extension under My Extensions. After you have installed the extension, you can add a form to your shopping experience by clicking on Content and then Shopping Experiences. Then you have to select the shopping experience to which the form is to be added. In our case, I will just choose the home page. Then click on the plus symbol to add a new block and select Form as the block category. So just, choose full width, for example. Then click on the plus symbol for the blocks and choose Form. And then you can just drag and drop the custom form to the settings for the new block. Here, a pop-up window opens. This gives you the option to use a previously created template or to create a new form. So you can edit templates or choose a previously created one. In our case, we have none, so we'll just go and say we will create one. So now a window opens. This is for the form settings with the tabs Options and Fields. So the basic settings for the form are made in the Options tab. You start by giving or entering an internal name for the form. For example, if you save the form in the templates, this will be used there then. So we'll just use test. Then you've got the field for headline. The headline is used in the shopping experience, for example, in the storefront as the headline for the form. Then we have the confirmation text. The confirmation text is displayed to the user as soon as he has filled in the form. After that, we've got the receiver address. So this is the email address to which the filled out form should be sent. Multiple addresses can be entered simply by pressing the enter key once after each address. And last but not least, we've got the drop down for the email template. So here you select the email template, which is going to be used for sending the form content to the recipient addresses. In the Fields tab, you can specify which fields can or must be filled in by the user. To do this, you can create groups that contain one or more fields. So let's start with the groups. On the left side, you see the groups of the form. You can use the dots on the right to change the order of the groups by drag and drop. So let's add a new group. Just click on Add Group here, and then Group 2 appears. After that, you can rearrange the position by drag and drop. With the Group Context menu on the right side of each group, you can rearrange its position, delete it, or duplicate it. You can also edit the group so that further options for the group are displayed on the right-hand side of the screen. Just click on Edit then. The headline is also displayed in the storefront. Now let's come to the fields. Just click on Field 1, for example, and then we've got the Field Context menu. You can, rearrange its position of the field, move the field around to another group. You can duplicate it or delete it. And you can also edit the field there so that further options for the fields are displayed on the right side of the screen. If you want to add more fields, just use the button Add Field, and then this adds new fields to the respective groups. And now let's work on the fields properly. In our example, I want to create a returns form. So we need fields for the customer name, the address, and the order number. Optionally, I can add a field at the end for the reason for return. So let's start with the first group. The first group is about the name of the customer. So here we have the group name, just call it name. And the two fields are for the first name and the surname. So let's go through the settings for the fields. If I have selected a field, on the right side you can see different fields for the name, the title, the type, the width, and a placeholder. So the name obviously is our internal name. I will give the title or give it the same title. Here you can select a type, so you can say if this should be a text field, an email field, a number field, a checkbox, a select field, or a text area. For our first name, it's okay to have a normal text field. We can select the different widths. So here you define how wide a field should be. If two subsequent fields together use a maximum of 100% of the width, they are displayed next to each other in the form. So this is useful, for example, in information is not to be entered in two fields, but the content belongs together, for example, street name or house numbers. In the placeholder field, you just say if you want to use a placeholder. For example, let's give it just the same name as the title, and this would be then placed in the field in the storefront, but a bit grayed out so you can see that this is just a placeholder. At the bottom, you can indicate whether the field is a mandatory field or not. Back to our example. For the names, so the first name and the surname, I will choose the width 50% because these fields belong together and I want to display them next to each other. So for both, I'll choose the width 50%, and then we're done with the first group. So now go to group 2 and give this a name as well. So we'll use the address and start with the field street. Give the field a title, choose a type for the field. I'll stick with text. And because we've got 3 fields for the group address, I will choose the width 33%. In our placeholder, I'll put the street name again and add a new field. At this point, I've now skipped a bit and pre-filled everything. So I used text fields for the address fields and a text area as an example for the return reason. You can also see directly that I have more or other options on the right-hand side then. Like here, for example, the usable rows for the height of the text field. Now that I'm done, we can click on Done down here and save the shopping experience. And now let's take a look at the whole thing in the storefront. Here in my storefront, I can now directly see the form I have just created. Remember, at this point, you can display this anywhere in your shop. I only did this on the homepage as a demonstration. But as we can see here, all our settings have been applied perfectly. I can see the individual groups and their fields. The widths are also clearly recognizable here, just like the gradations for the field types as here below with the text area.